Oh well, this is going to be an interesting honest reviews, isn't it? Now, everyone's already expecting me to do this video, and it's about time I come round and do it. But here's the thing, people are praising Sonic Mania for being the best game in the series bar none. But this is going to be an interesting one for me, simply because I'm not the biggest fan of the classic titles other than Sonic 2, because I just adore Sonic 2, it's amazing in my opinion. But after recently replaying through Sonic Mania on the Plus Edition, 100%ing it with every character, I've now got my honest thoughts on Sonic Mania, which you can call this a Sonic Mania Plus review, whatever you say, but it's still the same game, just with other characters and a new mod. That's basically it, so I'm just going to keep this as a Sonic Mania review. So, now that I've just expressed that, welcome everyone to the next honest reviews of the Season 1 of Honest Reviews, I'm going to call this now. Welcome to my Sonic Mania honest reviews. Enjoy. So if you don't know what Sonic Mania is, at this point you're just living under a rock, because Sonic Mania is the return to form in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and this is why many people are praising it, because it's a classic Sonic title that controls essentially the exact same as the Genesis, has an amazing soundtrack, I'll give it that. You know, it's basically Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but it has a baby with the other classic games. And you can definitely tell that because it's just as expansive as Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It has the soundtrack of Sonic 2 and it's got the feel of Sonic 1, but obviously more polished, because me as a person, I'm not a huge fan of Sonic 1 whatsoever. I don't think it's that great of a game. I mean, it's a good first start, especially compared to the original Super Mario Brothers, but it's still not that great. But this game, the only reason I think people are praising it so much is because it's getting the nostalgia bonus going. And what I mean by that is people have so much nostalgia these days for the classic Sonic titles, to the point where it feels unfair on those who like the modern Sonic titles, because everyone at this point has grown up with this, you know, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, 3, whatever. And I didn't grow up with Sonic 1, 2 or 3. I did play them early in my childhood, but I didn't grow up with them per se. I grew up with Sonic Heroes, and funny enough, I grew up with Sonic Heroes and Sonic R, which is quite the odd combination. But then my next main series game after Sonic Heroes was probably 06, and at the time I thought it was decent, you know, no biggie, whatever, but yeah, I don't like it as much anymore, but it was an odd first impression for me, really. But Heroes, I still love it today, and it's what I grew up with. I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, and that's what I mean. Like, most people grew up with the Genesis titles, but I didn't. I grew up with PS2 titles, so it's going to be odd for me to make a review on a game that I basically have no nostalgia for its origin. Don't get me wrong, I like the games, but I wouldn't play them all day every day. Even Sonic Mania, I wouldn't play it all day, simply because I don't find it as fun as the Boost formula or the Adventure formula to some extent. But it's still a really good time, and I can praise the game for most of the things it did. It did revive quite a lot of the fan base, and it also brought back, you know, more fans that had disappeared gradually over time, including myself, really, because after I played Forces, like, I got Forces and then I got Mania, which is an odd way to do it, but after playing Forces, I was quite disappointed, and when I played Mania, I was like, wow, this is actually good, you know, get Christian Whitehead on the modern team. But I know a lot of people have already heard that argument, and they can pretty much agree with it to this point, and I can see why, but come on guys, before I even talk about everything else in depth, I'm just going to give a brief summary. This game isn't that good, alright? It's good, but it's not that good, alright? And I'm going to explain that now. Sonic Mania has quite a simple story in the grand scheme of things. Sonic Mania, essentially, the story goes like this. The hard-boiled heavies, which are basically egg robots to start with, they go out into Angel Island Zone and they dig out the Phantom Ruby, which Eggman acquires, and obviously we see he later uses for Infinite. But so this game is canon in the story, I guess, but Eggman uses the Phantom Ruby that the hard-boiled heavies acquire, and he uses it to send us all over the place and to power his new inventions, basically. So the story is simple, but it's a short and sweet one like it was in the Genesis games, and it's easily followable, unlike something in Sonic 06, which is just all over the place and just plain awful. But this game like sends you from a gorgeous cutscene from Angel Island to Green Hill Zone to Chemical Plant to Hydro City, some new zones such as Mirage Saloon and Press Garden, And then there's also, you know, some older zones that return, such as Stardust Speedway. Now this is why I think most people are praising the game, because it's the zones are basically the exact same as they were in the originals, but they have a few new paths, and then the Act 2 is completely new, and it's completely inventive and revolutionary, to say the least. And then people are also praising the special stages for being something like Sonic CD special stages, but I will discuss Sonic CD in another video eventually. But if you want my honest opinion on Sonic CD, I think it's one of the most overrated games I've ever played. But and enough on that, you know, before everyone comes at me with a pitchfork and a torch telling me I'm not a true Sonic fan. Believe me guys, I am. I know so much about this series, you know, we just all got different taste buds, I guess. But back to Mania. So you go through all these zones, you acquire Chaos Emeralds from the special stages, which you can see on the screen now, which are actually really fun. I'll give you the special stages are one of my favourite parts of the game. They're really good. Also, Blue Sphere returns, which I'm not too happy about. I've never been the biggest fan of Blue Sphere, but it's something for the fans, I guess. And also, you can unlock extra additional content by completing Blue Sphere, such as different moves that Sonic has acquired over the years, such as the Super Peel Out. Or even if you just go for a complete run of the game, you can unlock and Knuckles mode, which allows you to play as Knuckles and Knuckles. And the game ends with 3 Knuckles, which is probably the best thing about this game, the and Knuckles mode. I adore that shit. But minor notes aside, Mania has probably one of the more, not diverse, but one of the more fun and consistent gameplay styles, and that being just classic Sonic fun. And when I say fun, take that with a grain of salt, because some zones I absolutely love, like the new Chemical Plant zone. I absolutely adore that. It's probably my favourite stage in the entire game. But then you have stages such as Titanic Monarch and Flying Battery. I despise those two zones simply because I've never liked Flying Battery and I don't like it now. And Titanic Monarch is the biggest headache with the gravity flipping I've ever seen since Sonic Adventure. It's so bad. But a lot of people say it's probably one of the best zones in the games, but I digress. I do not like Titanic Monarch. But that's just my honest opinion. It's called Honest Reviews. I'm not gonna take other people's thoughts and interpret that into my video. I'm just gonna express what I think of the game. But as you can tell, collecting the Chaos Emeralds is super easy because you can complete all 7 special stages by the first act of Chemical Plant. Which, to access a special stage in this game, you have to go into one of these big ass rings, which are scattered throughout every stage. No matter how long or short the stage is, there's always more than one. I think there's roughly 4 or 3, but I'm not too sure on that. But it's just nostalgic for the most part. That's why a lot of people, I think, praise this game, because yes, I can see where they're getting their enjoyment from. I enjoyed this game in a lot of places as well, but I think the nostalgia's talking far too much for them. Because, like, don't get me wrong, if they remastered Heroes, which they will probably never ever do, or they make a sequel to it, which again they'll probably never do, but you know, fingers crossed. But if they do that, I'll probably be freaking out myself, because again, Heroes is my favourite game and I've loved it since I was a little boy, and I still love it today. So I can see why many people are praising Sonic Mania for what it is in general, because it's the return to a classic franchise, which is essentially just, you know, getting him back off the ground, because Sonic Forces disappointed many people, and while I wasn't completely atrocious by it, yes, thank you for this long play, YouTube, I understand I'm using someone else's footage because, hey, guess what, my PS4 recorder broke, but thank you for just, you know, providing the footage. But what I would like to say now, this might trigger a few people. I think that, oh fucking hell, I don't even want to say this. I think that games such as Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, Heroes, and Sonic Forces are better than Sonic Mania. Now, don't go crazy at me for saying that, but I have more fun with those games. Sonic Heroes, I just love it to death because it was my childhood game. I grew up with it, and I just know everything about the game up to this point. I know it inside and out, and I can just have a blast with it. But then Unleashed, I love its gameplay style. Same with Generations, and Generations includes Classic Sonic, and I like Classic Sonic in that game. He's a mute hero and he controls like an absolute blast to play. And he's very similar in this game, but I think they removed the enemy bounce to the point where it really threw me off at times. But that's why And as well, like as I said, Sonic Forces is better. No, I'm not talking about classic Sonic in Sonic Forces. No, God no, he's awful. I prefer classic Sonic in this game any day. But the reason why I'm saying Sonic Forces as a whole, in my opinion, was better than Mania, is because I am not the biggest fan of classic Sonic games. And even though it was not done very good in Forces, it's still a boost game. And I like the boost games. Like, you know, yeah, many people prefer the classic titles or the adventure formula, but I prefer the boost formula. Well, unless it's in the Heroes style, then yes, I'd be all over that any day, but it's a weird thing to discuss because a lot of the internet is going to probably despise me for my opinion here on Sonic Forces is better than Sonic Mania, but that's just me, guys. Like, we've all got our own opinions. I like Sonic Forces, but I don't like it, but I think it's better than Mania because of its core gameplay, which was the boost formula, and even the avatar was fun. But Mania is just classic Sonic all the way through, and I don't like that. I mean, I like classic Sonic, but only in Sonic 2 because I like the zones, I like the level design, and I like how the level design was built around speed, which it was in this game as well. But I just didn't get that same feeling from it. I just didn't find it as, you know, engaging or as fun in some parts, especially Flying Battery and Titanic Monarch. Those two zones can suck my balls. But then also, I do have my fair share of zones I hate in Sonic 2, such as Wing Fortress Zone, or even Mystic Cave Act 2. Fuck that zone, or even Oil Ocean 1. That's basically it though. The rest of the zones I'm fine with. Like, as some, oh, Death Egg Zone I'm not a fan of either. But I just can't sum up Sonic Mania in the way I'd like to, because for one, like, I enjoyed my time, but at the same time I found it somewhat overrated, and by somewhat overrated I mean very overrated. Critics are saying that this is the best Sonic game in 20 years, which is shocking, because in my opinion the best Sonic game we've had in recent time is is Generations. I still play Generations today because of its endless mod supply, endless community, you know, everything about Generations is just spot on to me, from the community to the actual game itself. Now, I know Sonic Mania is on PC and it has mods, but the mods, it just keeps the game basically the same, whereas in Generations, you have mods where you can play as different characters, and you can even, like, change out the game's physics. Like, you can make Knuckles as an actual playable character, you know, which includes the gliding and shit, which is so cool, and you can even just swap out the physics for something like Heroes physics. Generations to me is the perfect Sonic game, but it's not the most fun because some stages, cough cough Sky Sanctuary, cough cough Planet Wisp, I don't like. But in Heroes, I enjoy every single stage. Even 18 Chaotix's missions, I enjoy every stage from start to finish. I love Heroes. It's just, it never gets old for me, which is something that many people are going to argue against and say Heroes was shit. But guys, I love Heroes. Have you got a problem? You know, we've all got our own opinions. But to me, Mania was probably one of the more underwhelming hyped games I've ever played. Now, yes, again, I was really hyped for Forces and I was underwhelmed by it, but I prefer it as a game simply because I enjoy the main gameplay style more. Apart from Classic Sonic, I'd take this Classic Sonic any day, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. The point I'm trying to make is that we all have different opinions and we all like different things, and Mania is just not my cup of tea. And I know I've just said the same thing for about like 10 minutes now at this point, so enough of my rambling. I'm going to talk about the not the nostalgia factor, but the game's expansive factor, if that makes sense. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the game is very expansive because not only is its level design absolutely fantastic with the way it's structured. Honestly, God, the level designers in this game, please join regular Sonic Team. This level design is fantastic, apart from Titanic Monarch. Just never do that again, please. But the level design is amazing, and not only when you go to special stages you get to relive something similar to Sonic CD, but it's actually fun. you also get to go to Blue Sphere, which is something that's going to be, something that's going to make a few people happy, I'd imagine. But not me. What I'm happy about in Blue Sphere is that if you get all the rings and you get all the spheres, you can unlock older moves and new gameplay styles. Now, what I mean by that is, like, let's say the Super Peel Art from Sonic CD, or the Insta Shield from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That isn't part of your default arsenal, but once you complete the Blue Sphere stages 100% and you get the medals for it, you can unlock these moves. And yes, you can't play them in a normal save file, you have to enter no save mode for that, which is a little bit silly, I think, but it's still a really nice touch. It's something that will get a lot of people happy, and considering I'm not the biggest classic Sonic fan, it made me happy to see some of the moves return. Also, like I mentioned earlier, the Knuckles mod is just the best thing about the game, hands down. Yes, it's a meme, it's a dead meme, but it's amazing just the way it's played. But regardless to my meme senses, we're going to talk about the Plus version for a minute. Now, I'm not going to show gameplay of the Plus version because it's basically the same thing. You just get to play as Mighty and Ray, which are characters that have been gone since 1993, which is a long fucking time. But why is Mania Plus considered better than Mania 1? Well, like I said, the other characters. That's basically it. People are like cheering Mania Plus for including Mighty and Ray and also the new Encore mode, but it's basically the same game, but with it's just a reskin of the same game. And yes, it costs an extra tenner, but you do get a nice case with it. You know, you get a nice art manual. You get a lot of extras with it, which is the only reason I bought Mania Plus as well, because I love the case and it just looks so good on the shelf. Oh, go away adverts. But it does look so nice on the shelf. It's honestly, it's probably the thing that sounds like the most on my collection, other than Little Big Planet 2 and Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games, simply because of how the case is coloured. But Sonic Mania, in my opinion, and this is my conclusion essentially, Sonic Mania is a good game, and it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. But it is easily one of the most overrated titles I've ever played in my life, simply because I don't really like the core gameplay style of the game, and I just don't have the same the fuzzy feeling that everyone else has for this game. I'm sorry if I can't, approve to everyone of my, my Sonic fandom, but guys, I'm sorry, I just don't really like this game. And I really did try to like this game, honestly, because when I played through it, I had a blast in quite a lot of places, but at the same time, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't like classic Sonic. I'm sorry, I really wanted to like this game, and I did, but I didn't like it as much as I wish I could have liked it. Now, I know this honest reviews was a little bit underwhelming as a whole as well, because I've talked about nothing but the same thing for about 10 minutes, but that's all I can talk about, really. I'm sorry this has been quite the shitty video, but if you want my overall score of Sonic Mania, including the Plus version, like just let's say these are the same game, I would give Sonic Mania a 7 out of 10. Yeah, a 7 out of 10. I give Sonic Mania a 7 out of 10. Simply because, as fun as it is, I just can't enjoy it to the point where I will give the game higher than a 7. That's just me. So it's still a great game, but in my opinion, it's not as good as I wanted it to be, and it's just not my style. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I know it's been very underwhelming, but I just really couldn't think of anything to say for this video. But regardless, thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying Hedgehog Month. It's coming to a close now, as sad as that is, but don't worry, it's gonna come back around next year, and it will for the plenty more years to come if I'm still alive or if I'm still doing YouTube, which I'm more than sure I will be. It's something that I enjoy doing. I don't care if I don't get paid for it. Maybe one day we'll hit the 1,000 subscriber mark and then start getting revenue for it, but times change, people, and this is just something I do for fun now because I enjoy it a lot. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I've enjoyed making Hedgehog Month videos so much. I don't want it to end, but all good things come to an end, unfortunately. I'll see you all in the next video of mine. Take care and peace out, everyone.